Do you guys feel more ready going into this game than you did last game? I know you won it, but
yeah, I mean, we were coming off a back-to-back. I think it was our first back-to-back of the season, so it's always a little bit different for guys and routines and stuff like that. But I know it was a bit of a weird game. Tight checking both ways, and normally I think Chicago plays more of an open style with a lot of offense. So we'll see what we get from them tonight, but we're going to make sure we play a strong defensive game and check for our chances. And good defense always leads to good offense. So.
Looks like you might get a shake on the top line. What do you have to do with Connor and Nuge?
I think I got to just play my game, do what's got me here. I got energy and passion and that aggressiveness, and just find ways to complement them. And I think if I can get in, cause havoc on the forecheck, create a lot of loose puck opportunities, and allow them to do their thing, and just put myself in good shooting opportunities. They're both great passers, and if I can just be ready to shoot at all times, it's going to go a long way for me.
It seems like Ratty's excelled at doing that. Can you take anything from watching him play with them and kind of applying that to you?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own different style of play. Everyone plays a little bit different. When you're playing with guys like Connor and Nuge, you just gotta, always be ready. They're so smart and so headsy that you can get the puck at any time, and they obviously want the puck back. So you got to be able to make quick plays, dart in and out of holes, and just be ready to shoot at all times. Yeah.
Small things, but it makes like a big cake there, and I'm getting more comfortable here, and that's all that matters.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Sorry we came in late. Played your first game.
First of all, I'm excited to get a first start at home, and it's really exciting, and I feel good.
How did you feel coming out of your last game?
Felt pretty good. Like I said before, we had a lot of quality practices, so that helped a lot for me, and feels good.
Awesome. And just watching the team the last couple of games that you have, is there anything more that they could be doing to help you team-wise?
No, I think the boys we've been playing really well, and if we keep doing what we are, it's gonna be good for us.
What did you learn from facing a premier team like Nashville in your Oilers debut?
Sorry?
What did you learn from facing a premier team like Nashville in your debut?
It's tough to say. All the teams are good, and throwing a lot of pucks to the net, and you just need to be ready on every second in the game.
How's your comfort level with the smaller ice now?
it's good, like learning every day, and need to keep doing that every day, and it's getting better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you think he wants to see from you?
I think little things, details, be smarter with the puck. Yep.
Is it a little bit, you just have to be patient and wait? The team was winning, so you might know that you might have to wait a couple games before you
I really understand that. Team play good, winning games. Why change the lineup? So now I have the chance again play good.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah.
It's a long time to wait. Was it frustrating? Were you?
Just 1 week. I don't know. Is that long?
Yes. I noticed you were talking to Manny when you weren't in the lineup. What did you learn from him?
We do little things, eyes. I think that's the thing. Yeah. That's.
Most nights, though, you can't win giving up 4 or 5. So we've got to find a way to keep their big guys off the score sheet. And
Connor, I wanted to ask you. Sorry if you were asked about this. Just about Jesse. He's going to come back in the lineup. I think everybody sees the raw skill that's there. What do you see in this player?
yeah, obviously he's got all the skill in the world, and he can be as good as he wants to be. But for whatever reason, it just hasn't clicked for him. And sat out a couple, but I'd expect a good performance out of him. I know he's been anxious to get back in the lineup, and he's going to get a shot tonight.
The focus was on special teams yesterday, kind of a blip in the radar the other night where things kind of stalled. How much did yesterday help?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, you never want to see your specialty teams lose you a game. A game where we were so solid 5-on-5, and give up 3 on the penalty kill, and the power play doesn't do anything. That's never good to see. So. I thought yesterday was a good reset for us.
Yourself and guys help a kid like Puljujarvi when he's here, he's trying to figure it out, he's making some strides, but he needs some help. How does veteran players help a young guy?
It's tough. You're just there for him when if he has any questions or anything like that. He obviously doesn't speak the language very well, so it's tough to kind of get your messages through to him sometimes. But he's a kid that's lived on his own for a long time, and he's been in the professional market for a while. He gets it. I think he gets it more than he lets on. So I think this will be a good opportunity for him tonight.
You're playing against a guy you know well, DeBrincat. Are you surprised to see the success he has in the NHL?
No, I'm not surprised at all, honestly. He's such a good player, even when he was 16, 17 years old when I first saw him. So he's obviously made tremendous strides to be the player he is today, but it's a credit just how hard he works.
It take a bit more time to be there, though? Could you explain that?
I think it just takes a little bit more time just because people see him and kind of write him off just because of his size, and sometimes coaches don't love that, and they need some time to see what the kind of player he is and how good of a player he is and how effective he is all over the ice. So obviously he's someone that's earned the trust of the coach and is being played a lot and rewarding the team for that.
Do you still keep in touch with him at all?
Looks like Jesse Puljujärvi returns tonight. It seems like he's ready to go. Just what do you hope he can accomplish tonight? What are you looking for in his game that'll give him a pass today?
Just want him to recover and have a good night. He used the tools that he has, be an effective player, and as I said before we sat him out, have a positive impact on the game. Sometimes you don't score. You still got to find a way to have that positive impact. So we'll be there to support him. He'll get an opportunity, just like all the other players that come back into the lineup, and we're hoping he has a real good, solid night.
Todd, what as a staff do you do with a player when he's sitting out over a period of time? What kind of work do you do with him individually behind the scenes, and what's that process like to get him there?
There's a lot that goes on. You've got to watch that you don't overdo it, because you can, anytime a player sits out, his confidence is dinged a little bit. But if you overdo it, you analyze, you over video, then he becomes even more confused and he thinks. One of the things that we've been doing with our younger players is as they sit out, instead of being in the weight room or just sitting in the stands or press box, whatever, they've been sitting with the coaching staff upstairs, and they've been going through different situations or scenarios, clarifying language, making sure that some of the situations that we've talked to them about, they see and they can analyze from way up high. And as you guys all know, it's pretty slow up there. And they get to see it evolve. They get to analyze it from up in that area when they don't have to be in stressful situations. And some of the questions that both Manny Viveros and Dustin Schwartz, who've been sitting with these players, have been real good ones. They're willing to work on their game when they're not involved in the lineup. And the clarification has come up there if there was any confusion. So it's been a good experience so far, probably a positive thing to do, and now we hope it transfers over to the ice surface.
Doug, you said at the start of the season you just need wins from your backup. You'd only had 5 each of the last 2 years. Koskinen got a win in a place you hadn't won in a long time. He'll start tonight. What did you like about his game, and what are you looking for? And especially with the back-to-back coming up next week, it looks like he might get into a little bit more of a...
Yeah, we'd like to find a rhythm, but more importantly than the rhythm is the wins, as you said, and you started the question out by mentioning that. And Mikko played in a tough environment, tough road trip, without a morning skate or anything like that, and he played extremely well in Nashville. I felt like he instilled confidence in our group. I think it was a breakaway early in the game that he made a stop on, and everybody said, okay, Mikko's here, we better get going, and it helped our team out. He looked confident, he looked under control, he handled rebounds well, he understood the tempo and the momentum of a game, when to get whistles, which is important for a goaltender. I feel really good about putting him in there tonight, and I know he feels good about playing, so it's a good combination.
Todd, Chicago is a team that still scores in bunches, I guess. How important is it? On Sunday, you guys did a good job of kind of playing that defensive style game against them. Do you have to kind of have a similar approach tonight?
Well, you can play defensive against them. They still find ways because they're pretty gifted. Obviously, their two top forwards alone can drive offense and drive lines, and they create differently. Kane with his motion and his vision, Taves with his checking ability, and then the ability to turn pucks over. So you've got two different issues on two different lines. We will have to be solid defensively. We've found that 3 is a pretty significant number in the league. Teams that get to 3 first tend to win a game. That wasn't the case against Minnesota. Obviously, 4 was in the number that night, but if we can keep teams to under that, we feel we have a real good opportunity to beat anybody in the league.
Todd, over with the Hawks, they've got obviously several weapons with Kane and Taves, as well as guys on defense. Former line mate of Connor's, Alex DeBrincat, is making a name for himself over there. What's your take on his play and what makes him successful?
Well, their coaching staff would know him better than I do, but based on my observations, he's a hell of a player. A smaller player in stature, but big as far as his ability to hold people off and create space and time for himself and for others. Similar to a guy like Yamo in our situation, but he's got a lot of confidence. He knows where to go and how to finish plays. He obviously had that in junior. He's playing with one hell of a playmaker there, and he's been able to carry it up and play with a couple other guys that can do that. So he's a heck of a player.
Todd, Ryan Strome was saying he's gone through the first month, no points. It doesn't look good. He said it'd be easier if he was playing brutal and had no points, but he's playing, in his mind, not too bad. What do you see from his game that he can get over the hump and at least get some points?
Well, defensively, he's been in pretty good position. He hasn't given up a lot. You know, the 3-on-3 goal, he kind of pivots the wrong way, and Crosby can do that to a lot of players. But other than that, he's done a pretty good job defensively. It's just we need more from him on the offensive side without cheating. And we look at his shooting distance. We look where he's been shooting from. We've had these conversations with him in the past. And, you know, in my opinion, most of the goals are scored in and around that blue paint. You'll get the odd one. You may be a 5-goal scorer if you're scoring from the tops of the circles consistently. You want to be a 15-goal scorer, get your nose dirty and get involved around the blue paint. And he can do a little bit more of that. We had a chat about that this morning. And I don't want him to give up his defensive responsibilities because it's been good, but we do need more from him on the other end of the ice surface. See you tonight.